Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4, 2008. The North Dakota Humanities Council, a nonprofit, independent state partner of the National Endowment for the Humanities. The North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.
Hi, I'm Bob Danback.
And I'm Barb Gravel. Welcome to Prairie Mosaic, a patchwork of stories about the people and places that contribute to the arts, culture, and history in our region.
On this special holiday edition, we'll enjoy the sounds of the season from two very different area musicians and learn about the tradition of Tina boxes. Darla Julian's love for baking started as a child when she received an Easy Bake Oven as a Christmas present. In 1996, she took that passion and opened Fantasies in Frosting. Today, this award-winning cake artist still loves creating masterpieces for her customers.
My background in baking and cake decorating started when I was a child. I got an Easy Bake Oven when I was about 8 years old, and I still have that. I never wanted to work outside. I never wanted to do anything else except bake and cook. Fantasies in Frosting got started in 1996. I had a few deaths in the family, and it really made me evaluate my life. I decided if I don't open up my business now, I never will. And that's how it got started, and I've been doing it ever since. So I'm starting out with the fondant here. We got this fondant cake for this weekend. I'm hoping this is going to be enough for the bottom tier. I'm going to put it on the sheeter, and the sheeter flattens it out so I don't have to do that work by hand. Okay, so we've rolled it out, and now we're going to get the bottom tier out of the cooler and put the fondant on. Carefully, we've got to pick up the fondant and drape it over the cake. Now we got to smooth the fondant out. I start with my hands, and then I use a fondant smoother. This will get all the air bubbles out, or as many as possible. Square cakes aren't always my friend. I've been known to do one of the layers over 3 times because I wasn't satisfied with it. What I'm going to do now is trim off this excess, and then I'll do some more smoothing. It doesn't look like there's any air bubbles, so we did good this time. When it comes to decorating, for instance, the cake behind me, it would take me about 8 hours of decorating time to finish that cake. Plus you're looking at the baking time and prep time too. So some cakes really take a lot of time to do. Now our next tier is going to be a 12-inch square. This is the support system. It's a metal ring, and then there's going to be 4 pegs on each of these screws, and that'll go into the cake, and that's what's going to support the cake so it doesn't fall down. Push it down. It's got to be flush with the cake, and it is. All right. This bottom tier has the quilted look on there. You either can do it by hand, or you can get a grid like this. Press it into the fondant with your fingers, and then just go over the ridges, and it'll impress right into the fondant. And then you have to match your pattern. A lot of these tools are made by cake decorators that have done this stuff for years and needed items to speed up the process. Alrighty, we're done. We make anywhere from 100 to probably 130 weddings a year, and birthday cakes, all occasion cakes, at least 600 a year. People ask me what's my favorite cake, And then I tell them, well, I don't really eat cake. I taste my cake, but that's about it. I don't eat cake just because I'm around it all the time. But if I'm going to have a piece of cake, it's going to be carrot cake. This is a level, and the little bubble will go in the middle when it's level. If it goes too far one end or the other, it's not. All right, we're done stacking. Yay! Nothing else as far as work experience has given me as much joy as this has. You can work with people during the happiest times of their life. Their wedding, birthdays, anniversaries, graduation. People are always happy when they're getting a cake, so that's what makes it so great. And when people come back to you and they say, oh, my cake was so good, and you should have heard all the people, you know, say that the cake was just great and was so pretty. I mean, it just makes your day. So I can't imagine doing any other type of work except this.
Carrie Noble chose to live in Minneapolis because of its strong artistic and musical community. After years of recording and touring, she's especially proud of the holiday album that reflects her own personal style. Carrie performed a few of those original songs here in our studio, so sit back and enjoy the sounds of the season with Carrie Noble.
Looking at a girl like me, you think you know what to do. Buy me a diamond ring, or fly me to the moon. No, oh well, let me think of how to say what I want to say to you. I don't want to hurt you, babe, but you don't have a clue. Let me tell you that every girl's idea of a perfect holiday, it doesn't revolve around the size of what you pay. Oh, I'll give you a little peek at my Christmas list, and then you'll see it's really easy. Give me your time, give me your love, cut me some slack when I've been wrong. Write me a letter or sing me a song, and give me your love. And just make me laugh when I've been crying. You can't mess up long as you're trying to sum it up. Give me your love. Well, looking at a boy like you, it can't be easy. I bet they all get in line, trying to catch your eye. Whoa, oh, well, that's why I cannot believe you're standing outside my door. You're bringing me everything you bought me at the store. Let me tell you that every girl's idea of a perfect holiday, it doesn't revolve around the size of what you pay. Oh, I'll give you a little peek at my Christmas list, and then you'll see it's really easy. Give me your time, give me your love, cut me some slack when I've been wrong. Write me a letter or sing me a song, and give me your love. And just make me laugh when I've been crying. You can't mess up long as you're trying to sum it up. Give me your love. Well, life is full of endless possibilities. All I want for Christmas is for you to understand me. And give me your time, give me your love, cut me some slack when I've been wrong, and write me a letter and sing me a song, and give just make me laugh when I've been crying. You can't mess up long as you're trying to sum it up. Give me your love to sum it up. Give me your love. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You know, I can't wait to get home and see my family and sing songs and eat a lot and sleep a lot and, you know, just spend time. It's my favorite thing about the holidays, just being able to spend time with the people that you love. You know, there are all of these pressures in terms of how much money we spend and what if we don't have enough money, and I know a lot of people end up feeling like they can't give the people that they love the things as much as they would like to give because they don't have enough money. And so this song, Giving You My Love, I wrote as a love song to your partner, to the person you're with, basically saying, look, we don't have a lot of stuff, we don't have a lot of money, but the reality is we have each other, and that is a bigger, better, more beautiful gift than I could ever want, and I can give you my love.
Money will come and go, already something we both know. Bracing ourselves against the cold is nothing new. Every now and again, inevitably something always ends, but I can make do and supplement as long as I've got you. I can't buy a bunch of presents, we don't have a fancy tree, but I've got everything that matters standing right in front of me. You can't buy me gold and silver, if you ask me, we've got enough. Baby, on this Christmas morning, I'm giving you my love. Doesn't it always seem to be everyone's chasing make-believe, but being with you it's hard to see, wanting anything more. I can't buy a bunch of presents, we don't have a fancy tree, but I've got everything that matters standing right in front of me. You can't buy me gold and silver, if you ask me, we've got enough. Baby, on this Christmas morning, oh, I want the smile on your face as you're waking up, the sight of you filling my coffee cup, the touch of your hand to remind me I'm loved. Considering every high and low, I'm loving you more than ever before. Settling down and growing old is all I need. I can't buy a bunch of presents, we don't have a fancy tree, but I've got everything that matters standing right in front of me. You can't buy me gold and silver, if you ask me, we've got so much.
For centuries, Norwegian woodworkers built Tina boxes to store food, tools, and other valuables. Preserving that Scandinavian tradition captured the heart and imagination of craftsman Robert Hoover. Robert teaches the craft at the Concordia Language Villages in Bemidji, Minnesota.
I've always kind of been interested in a little bit of wood. One winter, there was an old timer that lived in town that had immigrated from Norway, and I asked him if he'd be willing to teach me some of his crafts, of which was the Tina box, the bentwood boxes.
What intrigued me about this is how well constructed they are, how the craftsmanship is very good. I mean, if you've seen a couple of these here, they're just gorgeous when they're done.
Work around the handle on the other one. No, that's all right. But see how we're bringing that down in there so that it's going to seal right up to it? Seal it, yep. Right there. You can take a 3/4 inch board and you need to check the grain of the wood to make sure it'll allow you to bend it. That's holding pretty good there. I bend the rings up before I come for this class because they need to be dried, but they do the rest of it. Tina it's spelled T-I-N-E, it's like a girl's name. A lot of the boxes are made with a heart pattern on the front. Some of them have crushed velvet on it. Some of the guys in my class are using birch bark in the heart.
The first one I made was, just had a single heart. I made that for my wife Bonnie. The second one was for my daughter Jennifer. That actually is I haven't put the urethane on this one yet, but that's a 2-heart theme. And the one that I'm working on for my daughter Julia is 3 hearts, as you can see.
The Tina boxes from the old country were used for storage of anything that you want to keep around. A lot of times they were used as lunch boxes where they could take their bread, cheese, sausage out in the field if they were hanging hay on the line to dry, or so that the rodents and the critters couldn't get in there. And I like to do the keening on the boxes primarily before we glue the bottoms in, because then you can work from both sides. So we're going to go right in the middle with an awl and split that like that. Then I put a point on this end so that when we come back through here, you pull the awl out and you run this keen through at the same time so it comes through the hole. And you need 5.5 links simply because it's lacing through itself several times as it goes down. In the old country, they used to use spruce root or birch root. And I've made boxes out of bird's eye maple, the soft maple, birch boards, and I've made a Tina box out of birch bark, which is called a Nevatina. A lot of them were used in the kitchen to store rice, tea, coffee, beans. A favorite was a Schmurbox, butter box. So we'll cut this one off and plane it down. Let's go down to 10 millimeters for the bottom. Then we're going to go on the outside, and we're going to draw all the way around that. I had a piece of bird's eye maple one time, and the guy at the lumber yard said, well, if you're going to try and bend it, the eyes will pop out. But they didn't. And it was a 3/4 inch board, and I actually made 3 Tinas out of that one, where I used the bird's eye maple for the side of the box, and then I used the soft maple for the covers and posts. It was beautiful. And the eyes just glowed in the wood when you got it finished. We put glue in the bottom groove of the bottom of the box. Put the box on there, and we want it to dry. So we'll drill a couple of holes, and then we'll peg, and then we'll work our way around. I like to put a little bit in there, see if it'll fill in, and then I just notch it on either side. And then we just snap that off. See, in most of the boxes I make it so that the bottom board that I'm using in the box is recessed up into the box. so it makes it nice and firm. We could start doing this to alleviate, there was a couple little notches there. This particular box is called a key box because there is a key in the corner that holds the cover down, and the cover then comes up and it's pegged on the other side. This particular Tina box is made out of basswood, and it's one that my wife painted. And you see the heart pattern in the front of the Tina, because a lot of the Tina boxes were made for sweethearts or something like that. I've heard the story that if you wanted to get engaged to a gal, you would make a nice Tina box and leave it on her doorstep. Come back the next morning, if the Tina box was gone, you knew she accepted you. If not, she rejected you, and you wouldn't give that Tina box to a different girl at that point. So as the story goes, beware the man with many Tinas. But this way it's doing it all the way around. I go out in the shop, and sometimes I work till after midnight and don't even realize it's late, you know. Time just goes nice when you're doing it.
Dakota Air, the radio show, is a live radio production that travels across the Prairie region to provide audiences with a unique and entertaining experience. Dakota Air visited our studios and shared one of their favorite Christmas songs.
If it weren't for kids, have you ever thought there wouldn't be a Santa Claus? Look what the stork just brought, thank God for kids. We don't live in a quiet house without Big Bird or Mickey Mouse. There's Kool-Aid on the couch, thank God for kids. Thank God for kids, there's magic for a while. A special kind of sunshine when they smile. Did you ever stop to think or wonder why the nearest thing to heaven is a child? Daddy, how does this thing fly? 100 other wheres and whys. You really don't know, but you try. Thank God for kids. You look down on those trusting eyes that look at you and you realize there's a love you just can't buy. Thank God for kids. Thank God for kids, there's magic for a while. A special kind of sunshine in a smile. Did you ever stop to think or wonder why the nearest thing to heaven is a child? When you get down on your knees tonight, you thank the Lord for His guiding light and pray they turn out right. Thank God for kids. Merry Christmas, everybody.
If you know of an artist, a topic, or an organization in our region that you think might make for an interesting segment, please contact us at prairiemosaic@prairiepublic.org. I'm Bob Dambach.
And I'm Barb Gravel. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Prairie Mosaic.
Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. The North Dakota Humanities Council, a nonprofit, independent state partner of the National Endowment for the Humanities. The North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.